everyone, and welcome to another edition of Community Matters. I'm Rod Carter. Today we're talking about service, we're talking about sacrifice, and we're talking about support for those who have served our country. The Mission Forward Foundation is having its inaugural Black Tie Gala to raise money and honor and support veterans and their families. That's going to take place in Raleigh on April 11th, 2026 at 6 o'clock in the evening. And joining me now is Warren Flowers, who's the founder and the president of the Mission Forward Foundation. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Let's start at the beginning. Kind of tell me about the event and what you guys are hoping to do.
Well, first, thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. And so the Black Tie Gala is an event where we're raising money to support veterans in their care. We have transitional housing where veterans require that type of assistance, and also educational initiatives. One of our biggest things will be that educational initiative, being able to support the children of veterans as they progress on to college. Simple things such as book fees and tuition and things like that. We want to be able to supplement that income by supporting them in that endeavor.
What we're looking at some photos now that's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You, and these are your board members,
Yes,
right?
that's
and
correct.
and all of them, they look really young because these are some of their younger pictures when they were in the military. Why was it important for you to choose? And that's your wife.
Yes.
Let's be clear. We made sure we got that picture. All right.
Exactly.
Why did you choose board members who had military experience? Why was that important?
That was important because they understand the plight of the veterans. They understand once we transition out of the military, what's needed and what we have to suffer with to get to where we towards working or transitioning into housing or education. Yes, we have the MGIB bill and other things that the military provides for us, but there's also tutoring, mentoring, things that we need to get to that next step. And that's why I chose board members that I know have the experience and the education that can do that.
Now, we were talking, you're relatively new to Raleigh as well. I think
am.
we've been here about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
This is a big military community, especially like Fort Bragg area. How has the reception been for the foundation? Tell me a little bit about how long you guys have been around and how that reception has been.
So we're approaching a year. On paper, we were in effect last September, and we started to work. It took me a while to find board members. I have a lot of military friends,
Right.
and I needed to make sure that I chose those who would stand in the gap. And so that was a transition within itself. But the community itself has been welcoming for the most part. We've reached out for certain banks and veteran-owned businesses and things of that nature that can support us in that endeavor, and some have been, responsive, and so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to go back to my board members really quickly.
Sure.
When I chose my board members, it was almost like a test. I had to ask them certain questions. I was like, hey, I have this foundation that we are starting. I need to get some funds raised, or I need you to donate or give me some ideas on how we can better this foundation and help the veteran community. And for those that responded accordingly, some said, hey, where's your cash out? Where do I send the money?
Right.
Or I got an idea, let's do this. Those are the guys, and of course my wife that you see up there that stepped up. Out of 30 people that I called and contacted, those guys were the ones that stepped up and said, hey, where do I donate? I said, well, I know you're ready. Oh, I got an idea. Let's do this. Let's do that. How can I help? Not asking to be on the board, but I needed to know that you're going to stand in the gap for not only myself and yourself, but other veterans that we don't know. We may never meet, but they may need our help. And those guys are the ones that stepped up.
And it's so interesting because people think that they can just throw money at a problem. But that helps. Don't get me wrong.
It does, definitely.
But it also helps that you have people who are willing to come up with ideas and to do things and to kind of, get their hands dirty, if you will.
Exactly.
So the event that you guys are having, we'll talk a little bit more about that, the gala. Tell me how that came about, what you're hoping to accomplish out of that.
So one thing you know about the military and veterans in themselves, regardless of what branch, we know how to dress. And we're usually sharp. Our uniforms are sharp and lint-free. So I knew that one of the things to draw them out of their homes would be to offer a black tie event, giving them a chance to dress up, bring their spouse or their significant other to an event where they're going to eat well, be entertained, and network with other like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
And so I knew that would bring them out. If I was just having a cookout, I doubt they'd probably show up, but I don't know what their response would be. But having something where they get to get dressed and
People they act a little different when they're in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And they get to wear their dress uniforms,
it's,
right?
it's up to them.
Yeah.
I told them,
they
yes,
can do
black
whatever
tie,
they
you
want.
can wear a tuxedo or you can wear your dress uniform. It's totally up to you. I left that broad for everyone. I want everybody to come in and feel comfortable with their counterparts.
Where is it going to be held?
It's Tampa Gaúcha, so it's a Brazilian steakhouse in Briar Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty
nice.
good. It's pretty good.
That's exciting. So this is the first big event.
It is. It is. It's
You a
the
little
first-
nervous?
Well, we actually met our goal today. As I was driving here, we
that's
met our
great.
goal, and so we still have seats, plenty of seats left. So if you want to come, please come. But it's exciting. It's good to see that we had support in our first event. That's usually not normal, right? Usually
Yeah.
pretty slow, but man, it took off and it's doing well. So I'm happy about that.
What does that say about the need for what you do in the community?
It's showing that it's a lot of veterans that donated and purchased tickets, right? They understand that we need this.
Yeah.
There's a need for transitional housing. There's a need for veteran support, and there's a need for educational initiatives. Again, they have the MGIB bill. They have different tuition assistance programs out here, scholarships here in North Carolina. But what else can we do to make this transition easier for the veteran and their family? We focus on the veteran, but we got to focus on the family as well.
Yeah.
Because they suffer with that veteran if that veteran has conditions or issues that they deal with. It's a whole circle of people that we have to make sure we take care of at the same time.
I guess sometimes people forget that the people behind the uniform are
Exactly.
really they do sacrifice a lot too.
They do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to make sure that we cover all bases, not just one.
You're an attorney, and you represent veterans, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What was the thing that you saw like that made you think I need to found this organization? The major thing.
Prior to opening Flowers Law Firm, I always wanted to have a foundation supporting veterans in some type of way. What I didn't know is exactly what we would specialize or focus in until I opened my firm and started engaging more with veteran clients. After the engagement with my clients, I understand now that the biggest things that they suffer with, that they don't have money for their power bill. Simple things, money for their water bill. Their car may break down, they may have to get their engine replaced. They need that, and they may not have it because a lot of veterans live on fixed incomes. Right. And so those were the things that I noticed. I had a few clients that had children going off to college. Well, they may not be able to fund and pay for the books and stuff, and instead of taking out loans and stuff, they have to do it anyway. We can supplement that some kind of way. That was the biggest need I saw. Housing transition, bills, things of that nature, and educational initiatives. Out of all my clients, that's what I pulled, the data I pulled from, and that's why we focused on that with the Mission Forward Foundation.
And it's interesting because we start thinking, you hear a lot about helping veterans. Most of the time you hear it, and correct me if I'm wrong, you hear two things. One is medical, and the other is housing.
Exactly.
But there's so much in between those two things.
So much in between that. And the care that we give them is important. And so one of my goals is to have a transitional home, maybe purchase a hotel, motel, gut it, and put mental health specialists in there. And yes, I know people will say, well, we have the VA for that, or we have this organization. We never have too many organizations supporting veterans.
Agreed.
We never have that. So to be able to put that here in the triangle, to be able to support that even more, where we have Pope Air Force Base and we have Fort Bragg and other Marine bases around here, that would help so much.
What brought you to North Carolina? Was it work?
Yes,
Was it
yes.
Or
it was
just
work
working
and
with
family,
veterans?
and family, and family as well.
Okay. So when we say critical times, what does that really look like for a veteran on the ground?
So let's back up. If a veteran is a disabled veteran, there's percentages that go with that. They could be a 10% disabled veteran or 100%. Sometimes they fall in between the middle, 40 and 50. That leaves them in a fixed income. In today's economy, receiving that, let's say, for example, 50% VA disability payment does nothing for them with groceries right now, with gas right now, with rising homeowner insurance right now. It does nothing for them. So these are critical times right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because inflation is out of control, so we have to find a way to support these veterans any way we can. And so right now, speaking of critical, it's critical right now to support these veterans, especially those that may be coming home soon from the ongoing combat that's going on right now. They're going to come home, and they're going to need support. And we're going to have to be there for them. Not just myself as a veteran or yourself as well, but the community has to step in and understand that we have to take care of these veterans as they come home. They signed on the dotted line. They gave their life.
And to be clear, I just want people to understand, when he says me, I think you mean me in the general sense,
In
because
the
I'm not a
community.
veteran. Yeah. I don't want people to start calling me and go, hey, thank you for your service. And I'm like, I didn't. I was an ROTC in high school, but that was as far as I went. For 3 years, though. Kind of walk us through, and I'm going to come back to your service in the military, because I want to hear a little bit more about that. But kind of walk us through when people call you for help, how does that process go?
So essentially, we're in the fund building phase. So for the people that reach out to me, I place them on a list and say, hey, once we get to a point where we can help you, we will circle back. And I point them in the direction of the VA or whoever else.
And other agencies.
And other agencies that may be able to help them
Right.
during this time. But I always tell them that we'll circle back and help you when we can. Right now, we're building funds to help you. We're getting sponsorships and donations and things of that nature to help. And so that's kind of what I deal with. And I receive those calls often.
Yeah.
And that shows me even more why this foundation is needed and why we have to support it and support the veterans, because I'm receiving calls consistently for people seeking help and emails as well.
I was going to ask, like, do you have any examples of, I mean, you don't have to give me names or anything, but of course, just an example of some of the kind of support that people are asking for?
Bills.
Yeah.
Energy bills,
It's hard.
water bills, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I've had several people ask for additional funds for groceries, and I completely understand that. I see the grocery prices, and I can understand why they need that help.
And depending on where you live, and I mean, we're talking now, we just did a story yesterday about Duke Energy is asking for rate increases. So it's not getting better per se, it's getting more and more for people to do that. So like, I want to go back to your service and talk a little bit about your military service. Where were you, what branch were you in, and how long in that sort of thing?
I was in the United States Air Force.
Air Force, okay, yeah.
For 4 years. I was actually stationed at Edwards Air Force Base. And
I should have known that. I see the hat. My bad.
In California. And that's where I was stationed at. And I was a F-16 avionics technician.
Right.
And while I was in the Air Force, I was also part of the base honor guard. And so that was an honor just to do that, to lay those to rest who gave the ultimate sacrifice or served in later past. That was an honor to be able to serve them appropriately.
And when you see military members, soldiers, service member, airmen who passed away, and you see those services, how does that hit you?
Oh, it hits hard. They served their country. They signed on the dotted line, and regardless if it was during combat when they passed or whatever said health condition that may have occurred,
right?
They served their country, and a large majority of them served it honorably, right? And it just hits different because it takes a different type of person to sign on a dotted line and say, hey, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I might end up in Iran. I may end up in Iraq. Or I may just end up stateside.
Yeah.
But know that there's a chance you may not come home. There's a chance.
So, I thought about that a lot. Again, I remember I told you I was in ROTC in high school, and so I was in it for 3 years, and I was seriously thinking about going into the military because my grandfather was in the military. All his brothers were in the military, about. So, and he had like 9 brothers. But I thought about that, and that was the thing, and I didn't know if in all transparency, I didn't know if I wanted to be the person to do that.
Yeah, it's a big decision, and I made that at 18 years old, right? I made that,
that's
or
hard.
even prior to, because I knew I wanted to go into the Air Force at a younger age.
Right.
But yeah, that's a big decision, and some veterans they pay with their lives, and including myself, pay with your lives. You either pay with it all at once for those that don't come home,
right, physically,
or you pay for it over the course of your lifetime, but you pay for it, and that be whether it be injuries, conditions that you suffer, that you incur while you're in the military.
Right.
So because of that, once you sign on that dotted line, you just don't know where you're going to end up, and so it takes a different person to do that.
How scary is that unknown?
Let's think back, because that's a long time ago for me. But I knew that I was
It
nervous.
can't be that long ago. You ain't that old.
I'm 43.
I'm a bunch older than that, but okay, we'll talk about that. But I understand what you mean.
But yeah, so it was nervous. The good thing for me is that I was raised in a strong household. I had a strong father. My mother's one of the strongest women I know, and they supported me 100%, and my siblings as well. So having that support of my family, cousins, and things of that nature, it kind of eased it for me.
Yeah.
My dad was a pastor, and so he would always pray and talk to me and build me up and prepare me for what I was going into. So that does help when you have a supportive family. Unit.
Makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, huge difference.
So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to kind of talk more about community involvement and what the community can do to help out, and what role you think community plays in helping our veterans. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Lauren Flowers, who is the founder and the president of Mission Forward Foundation. It's an organization that's developed to help veterans in our area. Thanks again for being here to talk with us. Before we took a break, we were talking about the community and how important it is for the entire community to come together. Kind of tell us a little bit more about how the community can really support veterans beyond what your foundation does, but just in general.
Yeah, easily. So there's several foundations and organizations out here that you can support that is specifically focused on veterans. And there are many. You can Google them. And so by doing that in itself supports veterans.
Yeah.
A lot of other ways you can do it. I know that there's veterans that suffer from PTSD. And sometimes with July 4th and the New Year coming around, people start lighting fireworks. It'll be good to engage with your neighbors to see if they're actually a veteran. Now, they may not share with you that they suffer with PTSD, but it's good to engage with them and just see and check if they are, because that brings back combat-related memories and keep that as calm as possible.
It makes a big difference, and I apologize, I hit the wrong button here. I did want to ask you about misconceptions that people have about veterans who are struggling. What are some of those misconceptions?
So you may actually see a veteran that's in shape. He may be fit. The outer shell may look like he's perfect, no problems at all. But PTSD, anxiety, depression from combat, those things you can't see. And those are the things that a lot of people look at and say, oh, he's fine, he looks fine, or she's fine. But it's actually, they're not. They're suffering with different things that you can't see, whether it be diabetes or COPD or different things that they suffer from. Insomnia is a lot. It's very prevalent in the veteran community. A lot of us don't sleep for whatever issue it may be. And so you can't see that if you see them walking in Lowe's. You don't see that when they park in the veteran spot at Lowe's and see them get out. And you wonder, why do they get to park there?
Yeah.
But they earned that. They earned the right to park there.
So I'm going to kind of put you on the spot a little, because we were texting last night about some stuff, and I said to you, like, sorry for the late text, and you said, it's okay, I don't sleep. Is that kind of a part of being a veteran, that's something that stuck with you too, or is it just like you work all the time?
I work all the time.
Okay.
Between the foundation and the law firm.
Yeah.
So I'm a VA accredited attorney, meaning that I take clients all over the country.
Gotcha.
So I have clients in California that's 3 hours behind. So 12 o'clock here is 9 o'clock there.
I gotcha.
And so, yeah, that's part of the reason.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was wondering if the two were somehow intertwined at all. So when we talk a lot about awareness, but how do we move from awareness to real, actual, like, sustainable solutions in helping our veteran community?
It's a great question. So we see a lot of political leaders say what they're going to do in the veteran community, but we want to see more action. And so the best way to do that is to talk to us, communicate with us, not just this group or that group, but it's a broad spectrum of us out here that can give you a lot of tidbits on how to deal with veterans and what solutions can help us. Now, is there going to be an overall total solution? It's not. It's too many veterans with too many conditions and issues out here that need different things. So for me to say one overall solution is not going to work, but there's other little things we can do to make the lives of veterans much better.
Yeah.
And so we want them to hear us when we speak about the different conditions and things that we are looking for and things that we need for help. Listen to us and let's apply it. Let's not just talk about it. I hear a lot of talk, but I want to see the application of the discussions put into legislation and push
action.
Forward. Exactly.
Yeah. Clearly you talk with a lot of passion. It's very deeply personal for you. What motivates you to keep going? So
my military service, I have a lot of military friends, as we discussed outside. I know a lot of them that's going through different things in life, right? My clients, a ton of them are going through different things in life. And I hear their stories and how they're struggling. And I want to make sure that they stay here with us. As you know, the suicide rate for veterans is approximately 15 or 17 per day. That's a lot of veterans taking their lives a day.
It is.
And so another thing with the Mission Forward Foundation is we're including that suicide prevention program that we want to assist with and help decrease that amount as much as possible. But that's what we're looking for.
Tell me about the name. Where did the name come from? What does it mean?
This is funny. So my wife and I, we were going over, like, what are we going to call it? We were Googling different organizations because we didn't want to take another organization's name.
Right.
And so I was like, well, she was like, what about, it's a mission. We got to have a mission. I said, okay. And I said, well, we want to push them forward. And we both started laughing. And she was like, that's it. Mission Forward Foundation. We went from there.
I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I'm so sorry. It's okay. See, that's why I was saying we were taping this. Just keep moving. Keep moving. So the mission forward really is to keep life moving, and that is the new mission for you guys.
Exactly. I don't want the veterans to look back on the traumatic events in their life or whatever it may be that causes issues, or however they got to the point where they needed our help, because something occurred for them to even reach out to us for assistance. I want to get them past that and moving on with their life and not looking back but looking forward. That's the reason why in the car the windshield is the largest part. You don't want to look back, you look forward.
That is very true. And speaking of looking forward, what is the long-term vision for the foundation?
So as I stated earlier, I would love to purchase a hotel or motel, gut it, and make it into a transitional type care home where veterans can come there out of service, or those that have fell on hard times. We get them workforce development, resume development, and whatever they need, and mentorship to get them to the next step in life.
Is there a difference in how veterans of color are treated, you think, in this country versus veterans who are not black or not, people of color?
I think it's a slight difference. I do see a slight difference.
How do you rectify that? How do we approach that? You have to acknowledge first that it even exists.
That part. Yeah. You have to acknowledge that, yes, there's a disparity between the two. Working with veterans, like I've done, I actually been helping veterans for over 20 years, just helping and guiding people on what they need to do. But I have seen the disparity. But the biggest part is you have to acknowledge it. You can't fix anything until you say there's a problem.
Right.
And once you acknowledge this is the problem, now let's talk about how we can resolve this problem.
Yeah.
And to resolve it, we got to acknowledge it. So.
Looking at where we are in the world now with, a conflict in the Middle East, and it's like just over a month now, this is not a problem that's going to stop. This is something that's going to continue forever, and we have to continue to support these veterans.
Exactly.
Like you said, there's some who are going to be coming home, and they're going to need that support still.
Exactly.
What can we do as a whole?
As a community, they need to engage with us veterans. They need to reach out to certain foundations like Mission Forward Foundation, DAV, and Wounded Warriors, and other organizations that's out here.
Yeah.
And engage with us and ask us, we see you need assistance. Where can we help? Where can we volunteer? We plan on doing a book bag raffle, or a book bag giveaway rather, when school starts in August.
Yeah.
Come volunteer. Bring your book bags. We're going to give them out. Things like that. Let's help get them over that hump. We can't just totally resolve everything, but any little donation, anything helps, and we want to take that and push it forward.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the gala one more time because we need to push that. So just remind everybody, and you can scan this QR code. That QR code will take people to where they can purchase the tickets, correct?
Yes, it will. And we're also on Facebook. Mission Forward Foundation is on Facebook. You can purchase tickets there. We also have a website, missionforwardfdn.org. You can go to that and purchase tickets as well. We reached our goal, but we want to fill the seats.
Yeah.
And so please purchase your ticket, sponsor a couple, or if there's a business, veteran-owned business, or any business for that matter, that want to sponsor Mission Forward Foundation in this gala, please donate, sponsor. You can contact us again on Facebook. It's the best
way to do that. How many people do you expect to have there, or do you?
Right now we're over 65.
Yeah.
In that space that we have, that's
full.
It's not full, but it's close.
It's getting close. Yeah.
And so it's a nice area, as you know. And we also have a room block code with the Westin. And it's right above the restaurant, so there's no driving that has to happen.
Gotcha.
You can go to your elevator and go straight up to your room. You don't have to drive.
And just relax.
Yes.
And again, it's a gala, so you're gonna have people dressed up, dancing, and
Yes.
I'm sure some speeches and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
So we have Mayor Pro Tem Quentin Miles, the Zebulon Mayor Pro Tem. He's one of our keynote speakers. Our MC is actually retired, Command Sergeant Major Linwood Barrett. He's going to be the MC. He's awesome at that. He does a great job at that. We have a lot of other people that's going to show up, and other veterans that's going to tell their stories, things they've been through,
Right.
how they were able to overcome, and how foundations such as this help them get over that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why is it important to hear from the veterans themselves?
Because they need to hear that this, for example, this veteran went through an issue. I don't want to share it here, but he went through this issue. He was injured, and this foundation picked him up and put him back. He went to Auburn, put him through school, mentored him all 4 years, got him through school, and now he's actually working in the government. And it's because this foundation supported him all the way through his process. And so that's what we want to do.
I was gonna say, and that's your goal, is to be able to create those kinds of narratives too, right?
Exactly. And that's one of our main goals, actually.
Yeah. Isn't it nice too? Your wife is like, yeah, let's do this.
Yes.
So it's a partnership.
It is. She's great. She keeps all of us, all of those military guys you just show, my board members, she keeps us in check, right?
I believe
and she's
that.
always like, all right, wait, there's a lot of, y'all have a lot of ideas going on, but
Let's focus.
let's focus on one thing. Right now,
love
we're having a gala. They want to do a golf charity event later on. And so she was like, no, we're not talking about anything until this gala is over.
But that's good to have that excitement, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what you were looking for.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Everybody's excited. Everybody, all the board members have their tuxedos. A lot of people, I have people coming from South Carolina, Texas, Oklahoma City, Massachusetts. People come from all over the country, but it's for this state.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part. That's relationships, and I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that I maybe missed you want to add? Because I think this is fantastic. I can't wait to see some of the pictures. I wish I were going to be able to be there. I won't be in town, so I can't come, but I would otherwise be there with you.
Well, you'll be at the next one.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. All right. Warren, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And it's been a pleasure chatting with you, and good luck with everything that's coming in the future for Mission Forward. And I think you're going to do some good stuff. You're already doing it, so it's just a matter of keeping it moving.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me.
We appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Community Matters. Have a good one.